I'm assuming you saw clips of Herschel Walker and
Raphael Warnock.
yeah, have you seen?
What little that I could stand of that debate, I saw. I couldn't sit down and actually watch it, so I just watched the clips.
Did you see? Raphael had mentioned Herschel Walker potentially lying about his work with the police, and then Herschel Walker whips out a badge. whips out a badge and says, "I am work with many police officers." And people in the background were dying like they were at a stand-up comedy special.
Oh, man, I caught a part, and he was like, it is not about government health care. What I want is for everybody around the state to have the health care that he got.
Oh, man.
Woo!
No, you gotta see the badge, bro.
Oh, my God.
One thing I have not done, I've never pretended to be a police officer, and I've never threatened a shootout with the police.
Well, and now I have to respond to that.
We are moving on,
I have
gentlemen.
to respond to that. And you know what's so funny? I am work with many police officers, and at the same time.
I thought you messed up when you said that.
No,
he literally said, I am work with clinic release officer.
No, he literally said that. Literally said that and gave this weird ass, goofy ass look. I am work with many police officers. You can see my badge here.
Oh my God, he looked like Chris Tucker in fucking Rush Hour. FBI. Why? Who is advising this man?
The midterm elections just happened. Hopefully, you guys all went out there and did your duty, because no voting, no vucking. So, do you want to talk about Ohio's results first? Or do you want to talk about?
we'll bounce around a lot of high-profile races, but yeah, we can start with good old Tim Ryan and his I guess ineffectual.
Yeah, his
campaign.
His ads where he admitted to siding with Trump and being a beer drinking Ohioan.
Look, man, I to all of my moderate friends out there on the left, you are going to and what was really not that big of a red wave as we thought it was going to be, or that a lot of people thought it was going to be. I think a lot got saved in these waning months leading up to the midterms with, I think, what ended up being viewed as some progressive leaning policy with the the weed pardoning, the weed conviction pardonings, and the student loan things, which are still extremely moderate. So, like, please, God, Jesus, do not take that as right, well, we did something, so we'll see you in 2.5 years. Like, that's just not the way to go. It's not the way to go. And if anything is evident of that, it's this race right here, because, again, most of the election-denying candidates that thought that they were going to, sweep over and take over the House and the Senate again, well, it didn't end up happening. They ended up losing. A lot of those guys end up losing, except for J.D. Vance. Right? And then, well, of course, your boy down there in Atlanta, but we'll talk about him for a second. Talk about him in a second.
Sure.
I think Democrats like Ryan are so deathly afraid of offending or turning off their middle America, middle-aged, middle-income base that they don't push for progressive policy, even though it'll be the best thing for them. And what ended up here with Ryan is that he ran a very Manila campaign in my estimation, for what I was able to see here in Ohio.
Oh, for sure.
He doesn't support single payer health care, so that's how are you separating yourself from J.D. Vance in that way? Like you said, he leaned heavily into the Trump stuff, which is going. Which I do believe that turned off a lot of Ohio Democrats. I do. People are trying to move on from him. Even within that doesn't mean I want you to be the anti-Trump candidate. I want you to tell me what it is you're going to do for me. Trump was some years ago, and we'll deal with him in some years if he ends up running again. But right now, we are voting on ours right now. I don't want you to juxtapose yourself versus J.D. Vance on the issue of Trump. And that's what lost him that race, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is this type of messaging that is only, hey, you hate that guy? Well, I'm the anti-him. That doesn't win elections.
For sure. So it seems like the Democrats have gotten the Senate, if I'm not mistaken, or at least are very close to being projected to. Still got some ways in the House, but it is possible that we could end up taking that as well. The biggest thing, at least for the Senate right now, is obviously the race between Warnock and Herschel Walker, which is incredibly close. Not really sure how that's possible, considering Herschel Walker is an idiot.
Let's talk about how lost Atlanta is right now. And let me be very clear. Like, I don't begrudge any of y'all that voted for Kemp. Because what I can see from the national perspective on Abrams is that she is singularly focused on one issue that just coincidentally helps the Democratic National Party, but doesn't simultaneously help the most needy in her own community. And I think if anything showed that is that when you look at the exit poll data for her race for Abrams versus Kemp, nope, don't blame black men because they came out almost 90% for you.
Mm-hmm.
Can't blame black women. They voted over 90% for you.
Yeah.
Latinos, whites,
White women.
Asians. Yeah, white men, white women, Latino men, Latino women. You know what that tells me? Because I haven't said anything about educational marks or what their relative financial status is either. She just lost those groups altogether.
Mm-hmm.
You're a Democrat, which means that you have a predisposition to be able to talk to the working class people of any community. And you didn't do that. The only thing you focused on was getting black people registered to vote. For the years that you were running against Kemp in the first place and all the years in between. That's the only thing that you focused on. That and blaming black men for not getting you elected. But there was no shift in focus outside of the voter registration. Voter registration is an important thing.
Sure.
Right? It's important. It is not the only issue that arises in this community. So when Brian Kemp is able to go out there and say, we did this, we did that, we did this, however mundane those steps may be, he can say he did them. I think her crusade to get people registered to vote in the South was more of a wink and a nod to the Democratic National Party. It's like trying to fix a problem in the fourth stage of a progression of a disease. It's like if you've gotten all the way to voting as solving the problems in our community, you're well beyond the starting point. And there's a lot more things we could be doing in Atlanta for people than just getting them to vote for the next Democrat on the ballot. Herschel Walker and Raphael Warnock. Why can't Raphael Warnock beat someone who is at a mental deficit, a very obvious mental deficit? Because Raphael Warnock is selling the same shit that Stacey Abrams is. Selling the same shit that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are. This is not a very popular administration. So in saying that, if you have nothing to say other than what they tell you to say or what they are saying, it's a recipe for disaster. You shouldn't be within 5 points of Herschel Walker.
There shouldn't be a runoff.
There isn't anything valuable about his candidacy. He doesn't have any
Brain cells?
He doesn't have any positions that would adversely affect black people in a positive way. I've yet to hear a concrete political position besides, God and not aborting babies and, all your typical evangelical Southerner talk, but not a solid political perspective or vision on anything. The man bumbles and stumbles every time he speaks. Plus, he has no relative record in public service whatsoever. Not to mention all of the litany of personal things that have come out, not from your campaign, but from his own family. So, hey, Raphael, I'm glad you don't support defund the police. I'm glad you don't support a single-payer healthcare system. Glad you don't support getting rid of cash bail. Or whatever it is, whatever black issue it is that you keep dancing away from. But all of that, I'm the good black Democrat stuff has got you into a deadlock runoff with Herschel damn Walker. Imagine having all of that outreach in the last 4 years about getting people registered and trying to get them involved in the political process. And that state alone. And you still have problems with turnout, and you still have losses where you probably shouldn't have. You have 4 years to prepare for Brian Kemp. Now, there was some bullshit going on with him purging votes last time and them overseeing the election he was running in. That was just cheating. There's no way of getting around that. That's cheating. Mm-hmm. But again, you had 4 years to prepare.
I got a question. So Stacey Abrams very seemingly aligned herself with a lot of people that I seen her in lives with Monica and Sierra. She had 2 Chainz at one of her. Yep. She was at the Versus. I seen her have like a 2 Chainz concert. Wasn't she behind the whole no voting, no fucking thing?
No, I don't know.
Okay, well,
I don't know.
Regardless, a lot of seemingly pandering to a demographic that she should already have won.
And instead, and she did win it. She won it.
Yeah. Yep.
But you controlling your own, demographic, your own personal voting block is not going to push into other people's communities. You weren't able to talk to poor people. You weren't doing anything for poor people. You weren't doing anything for sick people. Who do I vote for to get health care? Who do I vote for to help me pay for my prescriptions? Who do I vote for to get access to the same mortgage loans as my white counterparts? Who do I vote for? Who do I vote for to get my reparations? Voting is a way of counting numbers for the party. And if you feel like that party acquiesced to your concerns or your wants, then it's a beneficial endeavor. It becomes being a treacherous endeavor when you understand that party uses you as a prop or a crutch and then blames you when they aren't able to ride you to a win. So I'm sorry, Stacey, but your let's get out and vote, let's get out and vote, let's get out and vote message is dead. You did what you can do with it, but that is not going to carry you over the top. You want to win an election? Do more than register people to vote. Be serious. Let's get serious. There's nothing serious about you asking people to come out and vote for the same people that led them into the situations that they are in right now. There's nothing serious about that. And the people of Atlanta let you know exactly what they thought about that.
People of Georgia.
People of Georgia, sorry. Yeah, she ran for governor, my bad. Georgia. Good luck to Warnock and his runoff.
That's so bad that you even have to say that.
Shout out to John Fetterman for kicking Dr. Oz's ass.
Oz.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he ran really good.
That man had a stroke and still won his campaign. So, here you go, John Fetterman, who was able to have a heart attack and still win his race. And Warnock still struggling with goddamn Herschel Walker.
As the incumbent.
What are your thoughts on this year's midterms? What do you think? Give us your thoughts in the comment prompt below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and come back next week for more videos.
Absolutely. And make sure you check out some of our other political clips where we discuss, obviously, political news and the such. And make sure you subscribe anytime we get some information that we feel is key in the political realm. We'll be sure to continue giving you news on it.